Shalom, this is Azriel Rosner, and I'm speaking about Parashat Mishpatim. One of the many mitzvot that we find in Parashat Mishpatim, in Parashat Gimel Pasuk Dalet, is the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda. It reads, Ki tivgash shor oyivcha o chamoro to'eh hashev tishivenu lo, which teaches us the positive mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda. But the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda doesn't only occur in Parashat Mishpatim. We also find a reappearance of the mitzvah in Parashat Kiteitzei. And there in Parashat Bet of Dvarim, we find 3 psukim that describe the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda. However, what's interesting is that in Kiteitzei, the mitzvah is presented much more extensively and in much more detail. First of all, in addition to the mitzvah aseh of Hashavat Aveda, which is found in Mishpatim as well as in Kiteitzei we also find a second mitzvah deoraita, the mitzvah lo taseh of lo tuchal hitalem, that it's prohibited to ignore a missing item if you find it, and if you did just walk on by and not do something with it and not try to return it, you would be violating this Isser Deoraita. Also in Dvarim, we find a lot of details about the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda that are not found in Mishpatim. So for example, we find the mitzvah of Shmira detailed in Dvarim Chaf Bet. It says there that if you don't, it says, so the mitzvah of Shmira is detailed there. Also the idea of simanim, that one would need simanim, comes up from details in the parsha in Dvarim. Why is this mitzvah detailed twice, listed twice in the Torah, and why is it more simply in Parashat Mishpatim and more extensively in Parashat Kiteitzei? Perhaps one of the reasons why this is the case comes from the context of the mitzvah in these 2 parshiot. Parashat Mishpatim, especially the psukim directly before and directly after the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda, for the most part, has to do with the mitzvah of Edut, the mitzvah of Beit Din. For example, the psukim right before Hashavat Aveda is the psukim of honesty in a court, Lo tiach harei rabim l'ra'ot v'lo ta'aneh al riv, v'dal lo tadar berivo. So mitzvah that have to do with honesty in a court setting. However, if we turn to Dvarim, the mitzvah before and after don't seem to have anything to do with financial halachot or courtroom halacha. The psukim right before the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda have to do with the mitzvah of Kvurat HaMeit, burying a dead body, and the mitzvah right afterwards, first it discusses the isurim of Kli Gever and Simlat Isha, of wearing the other gender's clothing, and after that, the mitzvot of Shiluach HaKein. So these don't seem to have anything to do with financial or courtroom halacha at all. So perhaps we should look at it as having 2 aspects to the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda. The Sefer HaChinuch, in his presentation of the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda, explains that in his opinion, the Shoresh HaMitzvah is for more of a utilitarian reason. The idea that it describes the Sefer HaChinuch that everybody loses things, it's a common thing in human activity, and therefore it's appropriate to have a mitzvah in which people help each other out. Society will function more smoothly, things will proceed more happily if everybody returns other people's lost items. It's a very practical mitzvah and a very fair mitzvah according to the Sefer HaChinuch. Others, including the Ibn Ezra, mention another aspect of the mitzvah. The Ibn Ezra mentions the pure act of chesed involved in Hashavat Aveda. The idea that, this is just a nice way to behave to other people, not necessarily functional or utilitarian, but it's an act of chesed. So perhaps in Mishpatim, in the context of the courtroom, in Beit Din, in Edut, it's describing the more practical utilitarian aspect of Hashavat Aveda. And therefore, it gives it very simply. It's a mitzvah aseh, you have to return it, keep it simple in order that society should function properly. Whereas in Dvarim, in the context of Kvura, in the context of Kli Gever and Simlat Isha, there it's giving a more, we'll say, a more Yoredeya type approach to the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda. There, it's not just a financial halacha, but if we give it a general idea of maybe of the protection of human dignity, that it would be undignified for someone to lose an item and the rest of us would not be considerate and care about their lost item. Therefore, there, the mitzvah is described, first of all, more extensively with all the details. It's not just a simple mitzvah, it's a mitzvah that really reflects the values of kavod habriot, as well as the isra of lo tuchal lahidalem, which again implies that it's more than just one simple halacha, but really that if you ignore someone's lost item, it's as if you're ignoring them as a person, you're ignoring their value, you're ignoring their dignity. So both of these aspects of the mitzvah of Hashavat Aveda, the practical utilitarian, as well as the more human dignity-oriented one, are emphasized in the two locations, in this week in Parashat Mishpatim, and then later on in Parashat Kiteitzei. Have a good Shabbos.